If you are watching this because you're terrified of the Transportation Security Administration grabbing your life-saving meds at security, you are not alone. In 2026, travelers still get freaked out about pills, syringes, injectables, gels, inhalers, and yes, even that weird thing your doctor told you to take every morning. The truth is, TSA has specific guidelines for medications, and misunderstanding them will absolutely cost you time, stress, and maybe those precious pills. This video will talk about exactly which 5 kinds of medications TSA will confiscate and, more importantly, what you must do to avoid losing them. Before we learn more, if you want to avoid that TSA agent personally staging an intervention at your next airport checkpoint just to lecture you about proper documentation, like and subscribe. You won't miss an update moving forward. Now let's unpack the real rules versus the myths so you can travel with peace of mind. First, let's find out what the TSA says about medications. TSA does allow necessary prescription medications in carry-on and checked bags, and the old 311 liquid rule does not apply to medically necessary liquids. That means insulin, liquid meds, gels, and such can be taken in amounts larger than 3.4 ounces, but you must declare them at the checkpoint for inspection. TSA clarifies that solid pills and tablets are allowed in any quantity, and original bottles are not strictly required, although they make everything smoother if questions arise. The key behavior here is communication at the security line. Declare, separate, and cooperate. This is the backbone of avoiding confiscation. With that groundwork in place, we now move to the 5 categories that cause travelers the most heart palpitations, and how to protect them. Number 1. Controlled substances. People often believe that TSA will confiscate controlled medications, things like benzodiazepines, stimulants, opioid pain relievers, or sleep aids, just because they're scary drugs. The reality, though? Controlled meds are allowed through TSA checkpoints, but they are subject to stricter scrutiny because of what they are, not because TSA wants to take them. The rules around controlled substances center on identification and documentation. While TSA does not require original prescription bottles for domestic travel, having them or a copy of your prescription with the medication significantly reduces the chance of secondary inspection. TSA's goal at security isn't to sniff out your prescriptions. It's to detect threats to safety. Clearly labeled medications and a polite declaration at the start of screening goes a long way. But here's the wrinkle. If you're traveling internationally, controlled substances may be illegal or restricted in your destination country even if you have a valid U.S. prescription. Some countries restrict stimulants and certain sedatives, and permissions may be required before you travel, or the meds might be confiscated upon arrival. So don't fool yourself. Checking destination regulations ahead of time is part of keeping your meds safe. Number 2. Liquid medications not declared. Next up is liquid medications. In the minds of many travelers, anything liquid that's over 3.4 ounces is a surefire ticket for confiscation. This myth persists despite TSA.gov clearly stating that medically necessary liquids, gels, aerosols, and injectable medications are exempt from the standard 311 rule and allowed in reasonable quantities as long as you declare them for inspection. That includes insulin, eye drops, cough syrup you actually need, and even liquid-filled capsules. The only time a liquid medication might be taken from you is if you fail to state it upfront when you walk through the security line. TSA officers typically expect you to announce what you're carrying that falls outside of the usual zip-top bag restrictions. Failure to do that is not a sudden rule change. It's just a security procedure. So don't silently let a bin go through with a half-liter of your liquid meds hiding under your socks. Declare them and be ready to have them screened separately. Number 3. Medical marijuana or THC products. Even though marijuana may be legal under state law where you live or where you're traveling within the country, it remains illegal at the federal level and under TSA authority. Products containing more than 0.3% THC, including oils, edibles, and tinctures, can and will be confiscated, even if you have a medical recommendation in your home state. TSA itself warns that cannabis products with THC exceeding the legal federal limit remain illegal and are subject to seizure and referral to law enforcement. This is not a myth. So here's the deal. If you take medical marijuana legally in your own state, keep it off your carry-on if you're flying. This means leaving it at home or shipping it safely via other means where permitted. There's no workaround at the checkpoint that keeps federally illegal substances intact. No documentation, no sympathetic officer, no clever packing hack. That's not a TSA exaggeration. That's the law. Number 4, insulin and temperature-sensitive injections. Insulin and similar temperature-sensitive injectable medications are technically allowed through TSA checkpoints. However, this is precisely the class of medication that might be confiscated or delayed if you mishandle the conditions or fail to declare them properly. Unlike simple pills, these require not only declaration but also appropriate and temperature management and clear presentation for screening. Injectable biologics and GLP-1 medications like Ozempic or Wegovy fall into this category as well, because TSA has to potentially swab, screen, and handle these items differently. Failing to communicate that you have such pharma in a small cooler, insulated bag, or with gel packs could lead to lengthy secondary screening or, in extreme situations, temporary confiscation by security officers. That's if there are safety concerns or if they can't verify what it is. Pack them in a clearly labeled, accessible cool bag, keep them with you in your carry-on and announce them immediately. If in question, ask for a visual inspection so they don't accidentally toss the ice pack while getting confused. Number 5. Syringes and medical supplies without documentation. And finally, we have syringes, injectable supplies, and devices like EpiPens. These are allowed, but as TSA guidance emphasizes, they need to be declared and screened separately. Just tossing a box of needles and syringes in your bag with zero context is how you get pulled aside for extra inspection. TSA is not inherently confiscating them because they're medical supplies, but if security officers can't tell what they are or why you have them, they might hold them until you can clarify, which can delay your travel and feels a lot like confiscation to a stressed-out traveler. The right way to travel with these items in 2026 is to keep them in their original packaging, attached closely to the medication they serve. For example, keep your injectable medication and syringes together, and declare them right away at the checkpoint so there's no mystery. What the TSA will not tell you directly, the confiscation myth explained. Let's clear something up before panic spreads faster than boarding group 9. In most medication cases, TSA is not actively hunting for your prescriptions. Their mandate is transportation security, not pharmaceutical policing. The word confiscation usually enters the conversation when travelers either fail to declare medical liquids, attempt to carry federally illegal substances like THC products, or cannot explain what an unfamiliar injectable device is during screening. According to official guidance from the Transportation Security Administration, medically necessary medications are permitted in carry-on bags in reasonable quantities, and liquid medications are exempt from the 3.4-ounce rule when declared for inspection. The key word there is declared. Silence creates suspicion. Communication prevents problems. Most so-called confiscations are actually the result of misunderstanding, non-declaration, or international legal conflicts, rather than sudden rule changes. It is also important to remember that TSA operates under federal law, so even if your state has legalized a substance, TSA enforcement aligns with federal standards. That is why cannabis products exceeding 0.3% THC remain prohibited, regardless of medical authorization under state law. What about international travel? Now here is where the real risk of losing medication escalates. International borders. While TSA governs U.S. airport security screening, once you land in another country, you fall under that nation's customs and drug regulations. And those rules can be dramatically different from U.S. standards. Countries such as Japan, the United Arab Emirates, and Singapore have strict controls on stimulant medications, certain painkillers, and even some over-the-counter products that are perfectly legal in the United States. Travelers have had medications confiscated abroad not because TSA failed them, but because they never checked destination import laws. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention both advise travelers to carry medications in original labeled containers and to bring copies of prescriptions when traveling internationally. Research the destination country's embassy website. Confirm whether your medication requires documentation or pre-approval, and carry written proof from your prescribing physician if necessary. That 5 minutes of research can prevent a nightmare at customs. How to pack the medicines the right way? Now, let's get practical. If you want to guarantee that TSA does not interfere with your medication, your packing strategy matters. First, always pack essential medications in your carry-on bag, not checked luggage. Checked bags can be delayed or lost, and temperature extremes in cargo holds can damage certain medications. Second, keep medications in clearly identifiable containers. While TSA does not strictly require original prescription bottles for domestic travel, they strongly simplify the process if questions arise. For liquid medications, place them in a separate pouch so you can remove them easily at the checkpoint. Inform the officer immediately that you are carrying medically necessary liquids exceeding 3.4 ounces. For injectable medications like insulin or GLP-1 treatments, store them in insulated carriers if temperature control is needed, and be prepared to request visual inspection instead of X-ray screening if your doctor advises it. TSA allows visual inspection of medications upon request. For syringes and medical devices, keep them packaged alongside the medication they correspond to. Remember, most delays happen when officers cannot quickly connect the dots between the medication and the traveler. What are some mistakes to avoid that lead to confiscation? Let's boil this down into the mistakes that actually get people into trouble. First, assuming state legalization protects cannabis products at federal checkpoints. It does not. Second, hiding or failing to declare liquid medications above the standard size limit. Third, traveling internationally without checking whether your controlled prescription is restricted abroad. Fourth, carrying syringes or injectable devices loose without context or documentation. And fifth, packing essential medication in checked luggage where it can be inaccessible or damaged. None of these are new. They are long-standing security and legal principles that travelers continue to misunderstand. The good news is that every single one of these risks has a clear workaround. Declare, document, research, and pack intelligently. Be smart, travel smart, avoid confiscation. Here is the truth most travelers do not want to hear. Airport stress is rarely caused by new rules. It is caused by assumptions. People assume someone will understand. They assume a state law travels with them. They assume security officers will automatically know what that unmarked vial in a cooler is. Airports are not powered by assumptions. They are powered by procedure. In 2026, the difference between a smooth boarding pass scan and a humiliating side inspection is not luck. It is preparation backed by clarity. When you treat your medication like an afterthought, security treats it like a question mark. When you treat it like a medical necessity and communicate that confidently, it moves through the system the way it was designed to. If this video helped you dodge a potential airport meltdown, go ahead and like and subscribe so this channel does not mysteriously get delayed for additional screening by the algorithm gods. You would not want to explain that paperwork at your next layover. Travel informed, travel calm, and let the only thing that gets confiscated be your fear of the unknown.